Life is war. From the moment you open your eyes in the morning to the second you rest at night, you are engaged in a battle against weakness, against doubt, against mediocrity. Every day presents a choice to conquer or be conquered, to dominate or be dominated. There is no middle ground. The conqueror understands this truth and moves through life with absolute certainty, unshaken by distractions, unbothered by the opinions of those who lack his vision. He does not seek comfort because he knows that comfort is the graveyard of ambition. He does not wait for permission because he understands that permission is never given. It is taken. A conqueror is forged, not born. He is made in fire, shaped by struggle, and sharpened through discipline. He understands that the only path to greatness is one of relentless effort and unyielding will. The weak pray for an easy life. The conqueror prays for strength to endure a difficult one. Hardship does not intimidate him. It excites him. Every obstacle is an opportunity, every setback a lesson, every challenge a chance to prove his dominance over circumstances. Discipline is his foundation. While the weak operate on feelings, waiting for motivation to push them forward, the conqueror understands that motivation is fleeting, unreliable, and weak. He does not wait to feel ready. He does not look for inspiration to strike. He moves forward regardless of how he feels. It is this discipline that separates him from the average, from the lazy, from the ones who dream but never act. When the rest of the world is asleep, he is awake, sharpening his mind, strengthening his body, fortifying his spirit. He does not waste time on distractions, mindless entertainment, or meaningless debates. His focus is absolute, his time sacred, and his mission non-negotiable. The world does not owe him anything, and he expects nothing from it. Weak men complain about circumstances. They blame their upbringing, their environment, their luck. But a conqueror understands that every excuse is a chain keeping him bound to mediocrity. He refuses to be a victim. If he is not where he wants to be, he works harder. If he does not have what he desires, he strategizes, adapts, and executes. The only person responsible for his success or failure is himself. No external force can dictate his fate because he has taken full control of it. Self-belief is his weapon. The conqueror does not seek validation because he knows his worth. He does not waste time convincing others of his potential because he is too busy realizing it. While others hesitate, crippled by self-doubt, he moves forward with absolute certainty. When the world tells him it is impossible, he proves them wrong. When they tell him to slow down, he speeds up. His confidence is unbreakable, not because he has never failed, but because he has failed and risen stronger every single time. Failure does not defeat him. It fuels him. He welcomes struggle, embraces resistance, and thrives in adversity. He does not expect an easy path because he understands that nothing worthwhile is ever given. It is taken. Success is not a gift. It is a prize won through sacrifice. The conqueror is willing to endure pain, suffering, and discomfort because he knows that greatness demands it. He does not run from hardship. He seeks it out, knowing that pressure creates diamonds and struggle creates strength. Weak men crumble under pressure. They fold when things get tough. But the conqueror welcomes the storm because he knows that within the storm, he will find his true power. The world is filled with distractions, cheap entertainment, empty promises, and worthless pursuits. The conqueror does not indulge in them because he values his time too much. He understands that every second wasted is a second stolen from his destiny. While others scroll mindlessly, arguing about things that do not matter, he is building, creating, and conquering. He is disciplined in his habits, ruthless in his execution, and relentless in his pursuit of success. Excuses are the language of the weak. The conqueror speaks only in action. He does not wait for opportunities. He creates them. He does not complain about his circumstances. He changes them. He does not rely on luck. He relies on preparation. Every day he sharpens his skills, strengthens his resolve, and moves one step closer to his ultimate goal. Pain is temporary. Struggle is necessary, but the rewards of discipline, effort, and unbreakable will are eternal. The conqueror understands that the price of greatness is steep, but he is willing to pay it in full. He does not look for shortcuts because he knows that real success is built on foundations of sacrifice, patience, and relentless persistence. The choice is simple: rise or fall, fight or flee, conquer or be conquered. Weakness is not an option. Surrender is not in his vocabulary. He was not put on this earth to exist. He was put here to dominate. And so he does every single day without apology, without hesitation, without fear, because he knows that in the end, victory belongs only to those who refuse to surrender. Life is war, and every day is a battlefield. From the moment you open your eyes, you are either preparing to conquer or allowing yourself to be conquered. The difference between those who rise and those who fall lies in one simple yet powerful truth: discipline over motivation. Motivation is fleeting, unreliable, and inconsistent. It comes and goes like the wind, appearing when conditions are favorable, but vanishing the moment hardship arrives. This is why the weak fail. They rely on motivation, waiting for inspiration to strike before taking action. They believe that success is achieved only when they feel like working, when they are in the mood, or when external factors align perfectly. But the conqueror understands that this mindset is a lie, a deception designed to keep people trapped in mediocrity. Discipline is the foundation upon which true greatness is built. It is not dependent on mood, emotion, or external circumstances. The disciplined man acts regardless of how he feels. When he is tired, he keeps moving. When he is uninspired, he keeps building. When the world tells him to rest, he pushes forward. His actions are not dictated by fleeting emotions, but by an unbreakable commitment to his goals. He does not wait to feel ready because he knows that readiness is an illusion. The path to success is paved with moments of discomfort, sacrifice, and exhaustion, and only those who have the discipline to push through will ever see the other side. The undisciplined man operates in cycles of inconsistency. One day he is full of energy, driven by excitement and temporary motivation. He speaks loudly about his goals, makes bold claims, and promises himself that this time will be different. But then, the inevitable happens. He wakes up one morning and does not feel the same fire he felt yesterday. He feels sluggish, distracted, or discouraged. Instead of pushing through, he hesitates. He tells himself he will start again tomorrow, that he just needs a little break. And before he knows it, a day turns into a week into a month, and eventually his dreams fade into nothingness. This is the fate of the undisciplined. Always starting, never finishing, always dreaming, never achieving. The conqueror, on the other hand, is different. He understands that discipline is not about how he feels in the moment, but about what he is committed to long term. He does not allow emotions to dictate his actions. Whether he is tired, frustrated, or uninspired, he moves forward. This consistency is what separates him from the masses. While others give up at the first sign of struggle, he embraces the pain. He welcomes the challenge because he knows that struggle is the price of victory. Every great achievement in history has been built on the back of discipline. No champion has ever relied solely on motivation. No empire has ever been built through momentary bursts of energy. It is discipline that turns vision into reality, dreams into achievements, and ideas into legacies. Most people fail not because they lack talent, intelligence, or potential, but because they lack the discipline to do what needs to be done every single day. They want success, but they are unwilling to pay the price. They want strength, but they avoid the struggle. They want greatness, but they refuse to commit. The conqueror understands that success is not something you stumble upon. It is something you create through daily, disciplined action. He does not allow distractions to pull him away from his mission. He does not entertain excuses. He does not negotiate with laziness. His mindset is simple: do what must be done no matter what. Discipline is not something you are born with. It is something you cultivate. It is a muscle that must be exercised daily, strengthened through repetition, and reinforced through habit. The more you commit to discipline, the stronger it becomes. Eventually, it becomes second nature. Waking up early is no longer a struggle. It is automatic. Working when you are tired is no longer a question. It is expected. Pushing through discomfort is no longer a challenge. It is who you are. This is the power of discipline. It transforms you from someone who hopes for success into someone who demands it. The world is full of people who could have been great but lacked the discipline to see their dreams through. It is filled with men who started strong but faded when the excitement disappeared. But the conqueror refuses to be one of them. He knows that discipline is not just about achieving goals. It is about becoming the type of person who is worthy of those goals. It is about developing the mindset, habits, and resilience needed to maintain success once it is achieved. Pain is temporary. Fatigue is temporary, but discipline is eternal. The disciplined man may suffer in the moment, but he thrives in the long run. He understands that every sacrifice, every hardship, and every moment of discomfort is an investment in his future. He does not seek an easy life. He seeks a life of purpose, power, and achievement. And he knows the only way to reach it is through unwavering, relentless, and unshakable discipline. In the end, you have two choices. You can be like the masses, waiting for motivation, making excuses, and letting life pass you by, or you can be the conqueror, ruthless, disciplined, and unstoppable. The choice is yours. Life does not reward hesitation. It does not wait for the uncertain, nor does it grant victory to those who question their own worth. The world belongs to those who move with absolute conviction, to those who do not waste time seeking permission or validation. The difference between those who conquer and those who fall lies in a single, undeniable truth: uncompromising self-belief. Without it, even the most talented man will crumble. With it, even the underdog can rise to unimaginable heights. A man who doubts himself has already lost before the battle has begun, while the man who possesses unshakable confidence has already won, even before he takes his first step. The world is designed to test you. From the moment you decide to pursue something greater, you will be met with opposition. The weak will project their fears onto you. They will tell you that your goals are unrealistic, that your dreams are too big, that you should lower your expectations and settle for what is comfortable. But their doubts are not your problem. Their fear does not belong to you. The conqueror understands this. He does not allow the limitations of others to dictate what he can or cannot do. He does not waste energy proving himself to those who do not believe in him. His actions speak louder than their opinions, and his results silence their doubts. The man who believes in himself operates on a different level. While others hesitate, he moves. While others overthink, he takes action. He does not wait for the perfect moment because he understands that waiting is a weakness, an excuse dressed up as logic. There will never be a perfect time, a perfect situation, or a perfect opportunity. The only perfection lies in the belief that no matter what happens, he will find a way to succeed. It is this certainty that makes him unstoppable. When he speaks with authority. When he walks into a room, his presence is undeniable. He carries himself with the energy of a man who already knows he will win. This is not arrogance. This is the natural result of absolute belief in oneself. Doubt is the enemy. It is a silent killer that weakens the mind and paralyzes the body. A man who doubts himself second guesses his every move. He hesitates when he should act. He listens to his fears when he should silence them. He looks for reassurance from others instead of finding certainty within himself. And in doing so, he gives away his power. He allows the world to shape his destiny instead of shaping it with his own hands. But the conqueror is different. He understands that doubt is nothing more than a choice, a habit that must be broken. And he breaks it every single day by reinforcing his belief in himself through action. Self-belief is not something you are born with. It is something you create. It is built through repetition, through constantly proving to yourself that you are capable. Every time you push past fear, every time you step into discomfort, every time you refuse to quit when things become difficult, you are strengthening your belief. It is a muscle that must be trained daily. The more you trust yourself, the stronger that trust becomes. And eventually it becomes unshakable. There is no longer room for doubt because you have already proven to yourself time and time again that you are capable of overcoming anything. The world will try to break you. It will throw obstacles in your path, challenge your resolve, and test your limits. Most people allow these challenges to defeat them. They see failure as a sign that they are not good enough. But the conqueror sees failure as proof that he is trying, that he is pushing himself beyond his limits. He does not fear failure because he knows that it is not permanent. Every setback is temporary. Every defeat is an opportunity to learn, adjust, and come back stronger. The only true failure is quitting, and quitting is never an option for a man who believes in himself. The power of self-belief is unmatched. It allows a man to turn his vision into reality. It gives him the strength to keep going when everything around him suggests he should stop. It makes him resilient in the face of adversity, fearless in the face of uncertainty, and relentless in the pursuit of his goals. A man who believes in himself does not need external validation because he validates himself. He does not need reassurance from the world because he reassures himself. His belief is his foundation, and no force on earth can shake it. A man who lacks belief in himself will always be a prisoner to the opinions of others. He will seek approval instead of seeking progress. He will hold himself back out of fear of failure, of judgment, of rejection. But the man who possesses unwavering self-belief is truly free, free to take risks, free to chase greatness, free to create the life he desires without fear of what others may think. Life rewards the bold. It does not favor the hesitant, the doubtful, or the weak. It belongs to those who move with certainty, who refuse to bow to fear, and who trust themselves completely. There is no magic formula, no secret shortcut. The path to success is built on a foundation of unwavering self-belief. It is the single most powerful weapon a man can possess, and once he masters it, there is nothing he cannot achieve. Life does not bend to the will of those who refuse to take control. Every man is faced with a simple choice. Either he commands his reality, or he allows himself to be commanded by it. The conqueror understands this deeply. He does not sit back and wait for life to hand him opportunities, nor does he allow external forces to dictate his future. He takes full control of his destiny, shaping it with his own hands, forging it with discipline, and refusing to let circumstances determine his outcome. The weak make excuses, blaming their failures on things beyond their control. But the conqueror knows that every moment spent complaining is a moment wasted. He does not concern himself with what is fair or unfair. He understands that life is not about fairness. It is about power, action, and results. The difference between those who succeed and those who do not is their ability to control their thoughts, emotions, and actions. Most men are slaves to their impulses. They react instead of strategizing. They allow fear to paralyze them, anger to cloud their judgment, and distractions to consume their time. But the conqueror is different. He does not allow emotions to dictate his decisions. He remains steady, composed, and focused, regardless of the chaos around him. He understands that the man who can control himself can control anything. Weak men are ruled by their desires, constantly chasing temporary pleasures while neglecting their long-term goals. The conqueror, however, disciplines himself. He does not indulge in weakness. He does not waste time on trivial things. Every action he takes is deliberate, calculated, and purposeful. Taking control of life starts with taking control of the mind. Most people allow their thoughts to be influenced by outside forces, social media, opinions of others, and temporary emotions. They consume negativity and wonder why their lives do not improve. The conqueror does not let external noise affect his internal world. He guards his mind like a fortress, allowing only thoughts that serve him to enter. He fills his mind with discipline, confidence, and certainty. He does not dwell on failures, nor does he allow himself to be consumed by self-doubt. He knows that the quality of his life is determined by the quality of his thoughts. A man who does not control his mind is at the mercy of the world. He is easily manipulated, swayed by public opinion, and controlled by fear. He hesitates when he should act, and he questions himself when he should be moving forward. But the conqueror has no room for hesitation. He trusts himself fully. He knows that every second spent doubting is a second wasted. The man who is in control of his mind is in control of his fate. He does not seek approval because he validates himself. He does not rely on luck because he creates his own opportunities. Beyond the mind, control extends to one's time. Time is the most valuable resource a man has, yet most people waste it without a second thought. They spend hours distracted, entertained, and unproductive, wondering why their lives never change. But the conqueror is ruthless with his time. He does not waste it on meaningless conversations, pointless arguments, or distractions that add no value to his life. Every second is an investment. Every moment is an opportunity to improve, to build, to conquer. He understands that success is not determined by talent alone, but by the ability to use time effectively. He prioritizes what truly matters and eliminates what is not. Weak men allow their environment to control them. They blame circumstances, waiting for conditions to be perfect before taking action. But the conqueror does not wait. He adapts. He does not complain about the obstacles in his way. He overcomes them. He understands that control is not about avoiding problems, but about handling them with strength and strategy. While others wait for life to change, he changes his life through sheer force of will. A man who has control over himself does not live in reaction to the world. He bends the world to his will. He does not accept mediocrity, nor does he tolerate failure without learning from it. He takes responsibility for every aspect of his existence, his health, his wealth, his relationships, his destiny. He does not blame external factors because he understands that every outcome in his life is a result of his own choices. This level of accountability is rare, but it is what separates the conqueror from the masses. Control is the foundation of power. The man who controls himself commands respect, influence, and success. He is not easily shaken by the opinions of others, nor is he moved by temporary setbacks. he remains firm, knowing that in the long run, his discipline will lead him exactly where he needs to be. Others may crumble under pressure, but the conqueror thrives in it. He understands that life will always present challenges, but it is not the challenges that define him. It is how he responds to them. Most people drift through life, controlled by external forces, reacting instead of acting, wishing instead of doing. But the conqueror takes charge. He recognizes that everything he desires is within his grasp if he is willing to take control of himself first. He does not waste energy on things outside his power. Instead, he focuses entirely on what he can control, his thoughts, his actions, his discipline. He understands that true freedom does not come from external circumstances, but from mastery over oneself. There is no success without control. There is no power without discipline. A man who lacks control will always be at the mercy of the world, while a man who masters control will always be in command of his future. This is the law of life, unchangeable and undeniable. The conqueror does not fight against it. He embraces it. He lives by it. And because of this, he stands victorious while others remain lost. A man's destiny is not written by fate. It is forged by his own hands. Weak men sit and wait for opportunities to come knocking, but the conqueror understands that no one is coming to save him. No one is going to hand him the life he desires. If he wants to rise, he must rise on his own. If he wants to be powerful, he must build himself into a force that cannot be ignored. He must carve his name into history with blood, sweat, and relentless action, because in this world, only two types of men exist: the ones who command and the ones who obey, the ones who lead and the ones who follow, the ones who conquer and the ones who are conquered. The choice is made not in words, not in wishes, but in action. Every decision, every sacrifice, and every moment of discipline determines whether a man rises or remains forgotten in the depths of mediocrity. Most people will never see greatness, not because they are incapable, but because they refuse to embrace the struggle. They are afraid of the pain, the discipline, and the sacrifices required. They talk about success, but when the moment of truth arrives, they hesitate. They search for an easy path, a shortcut, a way to avoid hardship. But there is no shortcut. There is no secret formula. There is only the willingness to endure what others will not. Strength is not given, it is earned. Respect is not demanded, it is commanded through action. Power is not gifted, it is taken. And those who are too weak to seize it will forever remain at the mercy of those who are stronger. The world is a battlefield and every man is a soldier. The question is, are you a warrior or are you a pawn? Warriors do not complain about circumstances, they create them. They do not beg for mercy, they take what is theirs. They do not ask for permission to be great, they declare it through their actions. Because in the end, life does not reward those who wait. It does not favor the hesitant. It does not crown the fearful. Victory belongs to the bold, the relentless, the ones who refuse to quit when the odds are against them. Pain is temporary, but regret lasts forever. Every time a man chooses comfort over discipline, every time he allows fear to dictate his actions, every time he makes an excuse instead of pushing forward, he is writing his own story of failure. And one day, when he is old and weak, he will look back and realize that his dreams died, not because they were impossible, but because he lacked the courage to chase them. He will realize that the chains holding him back were never real. They were illusions, built from his own doubts, his own laziness, and his own refusal to suffer for greatness. But by then, it will be too late. The conqueror, however, will have no such regrets. He will stand tall, knowing that he gave everything, that he left nothing on the table, that he fought for his vision until his last breath. He will know that he did not live an ordinary life, but a life of power, purpose, and dominance. He will not look back in sorrow, but in satisfaction, knowing that while the weak faded into nothingness, he became a legend. Because when a man decides that he will not stop, when he declares that failure is not an option, when he pushes beyond his limits every single day, nothing can stop him. I am the master of my fate. I am the captain of my soul. These are not just words. They are the foundation of an unbreakable mindset, a mindset that refuses to bow, refuses to surrender, refuses to accept anything less than victory. The world belongs to those who take it. It has always been that way, and it will always be that way. And if you do not take what is yours, someone else will. If you do not dominate your own life, someone else will dominate it for you. If you do not build your own empire, you will be a servant in another man's kingdom. Fear is an illusion. Weakness is a choice. Excuses are the language of failure. If you want success, then there is only one way forward. Move, act, fight, and refuse to quit. Do not ask the world for permission to be great. Demand it, declare it, take it, because history does not remember those who almost did something, who almost tried, who almost made it. History remembers the warriors, the kings, the legends, those who stepped forward when others stepped back, those who stood tall when others fell, those who refused to kneel when the world tried to break them. Hard times create strong men create good times create weak men, and weak men create hard times. You must decide where you stand in this cycle. Will you be a strong man who rises above the weak, or will you be another casualty of comfort and laziness? The answer is written in your actions, not in your words. The answer is forged in the fire of your discipline, not in the ease of your desires. There are no second chances in life. No rewinds, no do-overs. Every day wasted is a day you will never get back. Every opportunity ignored is an opportunity that may never return. The clock is ticking and time waits for no man. The question is, will you use it to build something extraordinary, or will you waste it and join the ranks of the forgotten? The choice is yours. Choose wisely.